ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Caesars, Southern Indiana, site of the 23rd Derby City Classic. The excitement in the air is incredible. Well, let me just ask, Derby City, are you guys excited for some amazing pool today? They are, I am, and I hope you are as well at home. We started with 16 of the greatest players on the planet, all playing on this beautiful 5x10 diamond table. It's called the Bigfoot, and this is the Diamond Bigfoot 10-Ball Challenge. We're down to just 4, and only one will move on to the championship, and it's time to find out who that is going to be. First up, he defeated Ruiz in round 1, and then Darren Appleton last round to get here. 3-time European champion, 2019 World 9-Ball champion, and the 2020 Mosconi Cup champion. Sponsored by Q-Tech, Diamond, and Tom from Moscow, Russia. Make some noise for Fedor Gorst. And his opponent defeated Omar Al-Shaheen, and then the great Shane Van Boening last match. He's a U.S. Open champion, 7-time Turning Stone champion, and 2-time Mosconi Cup champion. And he also holds the world record straight pool high run and 3-time winner of this very event. Sponsored by Rasson, Kamui, Harry Hughes, and IMG Freight. From Glasgow, Scotland, the Eagle Eye, Jayson Shaw. Our referee is Mr. Ken Schumann. We're lagging for the break and sending it up to the guys in the Accu-Stats booth.
The match that everyone is looking forward to, Fedor Gorst and Jayson Shaw. And if you don't like that, well, there must be something wrong with you. Jeremy Jones and Mark Wilson here with you. And Jeremy, I just can't wait to see the outcome of this one.
Yeah, it's going to be, you would think a very well-played match by both players. They've been playing great so far. Probably, I mean, Filler put on a show yesterday, but probably so far these two have been the most solid in the first 2 matches. Fedor Gorst, maybe solid's his middle name. Jayson Shaw, we know the talent, and really, I guess nobody can really take, stake a claim in this Bigfoot more than him, right? 3 wins.
Right, I have 8.
Yeah.
Shane Van Boening had won it twice. He was dispensed with by Jayson Shaw yesterday. Shaw played at 885 against Van Boening and a 946 against Al-Shaheen, while Gorst, I've never seen this happen before, he put up a 949 and a 945 against Ruiz and Appleton. I've never seen anyone conquer the Bigfoot table with those type of TPAs.
Well, it felt like to me, if you kind of exclude the very, very beginning of that match between Shaw and we were going to have our first big mistake there with losing the cue ball on the side, but it's going to turn out, I believe, yeah. Well, if you exclude the very beginning of that match with Shaw and Shane, it seems like Jayson shot a bit higher than 880 or whatever you commented a moment ago. Seemed like it was in the 900s the way he played, but I mean, it's almost like, I know this 10-foot's challenging for these guys, but they're getting more comfortable with it every time they play on it. But it seems to me it'd be more shocking if we saw an 850 from Federer than we do a 950. I don't know. That's just my feeling about the kid.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a good point. He's super consistent. I mean, nobody's hit the pocket more purely throughout the week so far than Fedor Gorst. And that's saying something when you have Shaw and Filler in the field, that nobody's hit the pocket better than Fedor Gorst, but that's the case.
Yeah, it's like one thing about Federer that maybe we ignore also sometimes. Oh, that's got to maybe go okay. Is it's like a teeter-totter, right? You got some guys like like Shaw, for instance. He's obviously out there working, but it appears like more talent than anything, right? Whereas a little the opposite with Federer. We forget about how talented he is and how much of a one-of-a-kind guy he is because of how hard he works. So we kind of label him as a worker, but man, what a talent though as well.
And very clinical fashion too. Every shot exactly the same tempo, same care, total respect for the sport. And he says he's feeling much better this year because he no longer needs a fake ID to get in here. So he's 21 years old, and he's been here 5 years, but he's always had the sweat being able to play in the tournament just due to the age.
Yeah, and he's got the first shot that he doesn't feel too great about right here, falling really awkwardly straight here on the 5. And And I don't think he wants to take the 6 on from just stopping his ball there, Mark, even though it would work. I think he's going to entertain moving the cue ball here with some speed and maybe a little power. Well, he's a little more level, so that tells me maybe not draw, even though he goes down with the tip, so it's hard to tell sometimes. Oh, it is draw. Watch out, 8-ball. That's going to get a little thin as well.
But still, he got the cue ball close to the 6-ball here.
No, he's great. He'd much rather have this shot than just stopping his ball off the 5. You know, and I've watched, and I'm not playing this week. A little disappointed not playing in the main events, but I've been watching all the players, and it's just refreshing to see the attitudes. It seems like to me Pool's heading in a great direction, and the guys recognize it. You know, they're out there battling, but it's not a personal thing. It's personal, don't get me wrong. It's their livelihood, but it's not personal between the players as much, it seems like. They're really enjoying what's coming in the future and what's present right now with a Derby City Classic finally back at hand.
I love it that all the players are finally kind of turning the corner and putting the sport above themselves. And it's respect and professionalism.
Yeah, and they put each other before themselves a little bit when it starts to trend that way. You know, you understand, like I said in day one, these guys are colleagues, even though they gotta rip each other apart to get the job done. But
at the end of the day, we're a family.
Yeah.
And Fedor Gorst opens with a winning leg.
How many breaking runs have we had to start the matches? Quite a few, right?
Yeah. Coming into this match, Gorst had 8 breaking runs total. Shaw has had 6 breaking runs, so each player has won 22 games coming in here, and 6 and 8 by virtue of breaking run out.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, of course, it's just shots after the break, right? For the most part, that maybe that number would be a lot higher. We'll see. You know, the first couple of days, or let's say the first match for each of the players. Now, I heard Shaw was a little different, but they all had a little tendency here and there where they had a dry break, or, you know, maybe didn't hit the rack exactly how they wanted. So we saw maybe 3-4 dry breaks apiece from each guy. Seems like they've gotten more tuned in as they've gone along. So.
And we've watched the Break Demon Speed app, and that's been really consistent. We've noticed that right in that sweet spot of the kind of the mid-18s is where most of the guys are making balls, with the exception of Shane Van Boening, who powers up to 22, 23.
Yeah, it just takes a better connection with a higher velocity, it seems like.
I spoke to Shaw last night, and he was talking about why he's taking ball. He just wants to get one ball down and control the one is why he's breaking soft.
Right.
He's not worried about making multiple balls.
He doesn't mind the extra work.
Look how square he hit those. And look, he's made a couple balls. Didn't get the shot that he wanted.
Now, one thing someone brought to my attention last night, it seemed like Shaw was racking them in the same order, which is not trying to get an advantage, but sometimes, you know, the rules are different, right, in different tournaments. Don't think you're supposed to have that in this tournament here.
No, it's specifically supposed to be random, not the 2 and the 3 on the corners as we're
accustomed.
Other
balls as well.
Yeah.
So, because yesterday I noticed, started to see at the end of the match, it was the 9 and 8 up front every game. So we'll take a look at that. And again, it's not something intentional. Just like the guys are supposed to know the 2 and 3 aren't supposed to go on the corners this week. We've still seen it some.
As a question, the balls, when they break, you want to get a pattern, but still it's very
difficult to predict.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not gaining hardly any edge there by putting them however you put them, because if the 9 goes in, then that just becomes one less ball at the end of the rack, but there's still a ball that always replaces it. So
yeah, I don't see, you know, I watched it yesterday a little bit. I don't see like a real defining advantage by doing that. So this is super tough.
Yeah. Oh, my. I did not think he would play
offense.
Heavy
with the speed. Or
Look at that shot.
Perfect.
Look at that shot. World-class Pool right there on display. It cuts that in with control.
And don't think, you know, that's why I know Pool's a sport, because everyone says, well, you're supposed to shoot the shot no matter what, the same every time, percentage and all that. And I don't believe that. I believe sometimes it's the way you feel. I believe the score definitely has something to do with some shot selection at times. And the other one is he's got a unbelievable player shooting behind him in Fedor Gorst. And I think that had a little bit to do with him going for that one right there. The safety was tough. You know, he knows he can't just leave something open, you know, as far as a safety in return for Fedor.
Right.
So I think he liked his chances better cutting that ball down the rail.
Yeah, you can't rely on your opponent making mistakes at this level. But I must say I'm a little embarrassed because in my game I always play safe on that one ball right there. And Shaw floats it in from down table.
Well, that's another reason why I like the rules we're playing. Call shot puts a lot of value in safety because the player has to kick and then call the pocket to beat you.
Right.
So I like that you'll see now these greats right here, they don't get slowed down by the rules too often, meaning they're going to stay aggressive. But still there is that point every now and again that puts them a little more on the aggressive side of things, which is what we all want to see.
Oh, boy, I didn't think this was going to be a break and run out after I saw the one ball, but it sure is. Both players have opened up with a break and run out to start the match. 1-1 is our score.
Yeah, Kenny Schumann in the house. Good to see that. Kenny, I know this is his favorite event.
For sure my favorite event. And it just gets better every year. I used to say, boy, these guys can't get any better. But about 5 years ago, I quit saying that. Every year they come back stronger. And they really don't get much opportunity to play on 10-foot table. You have to take that into account. This table is 20% larger, but it's the longest part, so it's probably 30 or 35% more difficult.
Yeah, and for these top guys, that's why this field is so select because, I mean, it does – some of them, we saw it affect them. You know, like we saw a couple players where the timing was off a little bit, and we could tell that extra distance got them on a few shots. But in my mind, the 10-footer was, for the great players, it's mental. You know, if they don't let it get in their head too much, they usually are going to play pretty darn well. And look at the lighter speed. The four-railer's going a little long. That's been very consistent all day. I mean, all tournament.
Did not get a shot on the one. That was 19.5 on our break demon.
He's going to kick at this. I don't think he'll pass this kick shot.
That's miles per hour I'm talking about. The kick shot Jeremy's describing is kick from the short rail into the back of the one and try to stick the cue ball there, maybe use a 9 to impede the direct access to the one.
Yeah, this one's sitting a little funny because it's hard to go in with a ton of English right spin, which you would like to do to really kind of bank the one away on its correct route.
Right, and you need the English to get it in the heavy part of the one. I don't think you can go flat ball, but a flat ball would play much nicer if you could.
You can go flat ball, Mark, but I don't think you're going to get a great route on the one. You're going to stick the cue ball still, and you may get him behind a piece of the 9. But the problem is all these balls down table. Oh, what a sweet hit.
Oh, my goodness.
He did take the English on because he knew that, hey, banking the one down there and letting him see it just isn't going to be any good.
What a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, tough
and
hit
like
here.
you said, that object ball was almost a diamond away from the end rail there. That takes a really accurate hit to make that happen.
Yeah, and then
that kick and stick.
You got to stay disciplined to not overhit it. I mean, you can't baby it, obviously, but you got to hit it with that nice little, little under medium.
Yeah, this is a world-class pool for sure.
Yeah, what do you do here? I mean, you
yeah,
got to kick, I guess, one rail between the 9-8, right, to the short rail here. I mean, what else are you going to do? Where he's standing?
I'm not sure. He can reach it good because he's left-handed to do the one-railer.
That's the line I'm talking about, the line he just laid his cue down on. He's got to kick to the short rail here. These guys get a great feel. This should be more of a center ball, not a top English. Top English bends the ball. Center ball keeps the line a little better. Cueing, watch out on the 9.
He went soft speed. Look at this hit.
And he wasn't even looking at the cue ball when he struck it. Can we get a replay of that here in a moment? A little bit like what's the golfer? Jordan Spieth used to look at the hole when he putted from 8 feet and in. Not something you're going to see. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, and I want to make sure I wasn't mistaken. Hopefully we can get a replay on that. Like, I've never seen that. Have you?
No, but I didn't notice it either. I was looking at the path because I was thinking, boy, this is super tough. I thought he was going to use more power.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that, if I'm correct, is he was cueing right next to the 9. We're playing all ball fouls.
Yeah.
And I think he was looking at the object ball behind him when he kicked at the 1. All right, perfect here, it looks
Look
like.
at what a clean route that was, too, and very controlled.
Yeah, and, you know, these guys are going to be great when it naturally kind of wants to go there a little bit. You know, that wasn't totally unnatural, so speed's usually going to be pretty good. Does he have to draw this back here, like from the angle? Or can he? I mean, stunning by the 10, where's he going?
I think draw is going to play easier.
He's got a little angle, though.
Yes, he does. Yeah, it's going to take effective draw and minimum speed.
And he's going to be stretched on the 4, maybe. So he's got to take care of that because he's got to kind of threaten going near the 6 here, Mark.
Well, the other choice is inside spin to the end rail and 2 cushions back out to the center.
I like that.
Oh, he's going into the 6.
He kind of let up a hair. Doesn't do it very often. Yeah, I thought it was even though it was routine looking, I thought it was a bit tricky with the cue ball. So our first bit of a mistake here. And really difficult. What's he going to do as far as a kick shot? Come underneath it, 3 rails? Oh, he can get between the 6, 7. Okay.
And I was thinking it's going to be like that one pocket chip safe.
Come across it.
Right, and let the cue ball come back down by the 5 if you hit it well.
There's another shot. If you hit underneath it, the cue ball is going to 1 rail right towards the 6, 7. Watch it. It crawls right up towards like where the stack's at. He's not doing that. He's crossing it over. Caught a little too thin, so he's going to give up a shot.
Quality effort, though.
I have to show you that, Mark. That shot I was talking about comes up a lot,
I see
more
it now.
than you think.
Yeah, you could have hit that a little bit heavier. I see what you're saying.
Well, it come from the bottom of the 4. Come from the bottom of the 4 on the kick shot. Kick the 4 up table, and the cue ball 1 rails right towards the 6, 7, like the stack's there, basically.
Yeah, that's a billiard shot, too. So.
Sure is. All right,
I think his speed's off, yeah.
Well, I think he's going to get enough bounce to cut it, maybe. Well, maybe not. Now, Jayson ended his practice with all extreme difficult shots.
Yes.
Now he's going to look at just, well.
One of our great fans out here in the crowd said that he was definitely looking at the object ball when he kicked that ball, Jeremy.
No, 100% he was. Yeah, I've never seen that before in my life.
Well, I haven't either.
Not behind him, at least. I've seen him where they kind of like the ball's in front of him and they're kind of looking at that as well. He's looking to dice this in. Oh, my goodness. Double bank the 5 below the 6, 7, 10 and draw the ball a little.
Yeah, I think this is way the better.
Yeah, especially
long-term percentage.
That was kind of like a standard shot-ish.
Yeah.
But, Jayson reminds me with his safeties, they're a lot of times like talent safeties. They're not like everything's just like set up to do so. Kind of like a Rodney Morris used to be when he was in stroke. He would shoot some of the most unorthodox safeties just because he knew he could lay the cue ball down in certain places.
Right. And truly, this is another place right here, and no jump cue allowed. I love this rule. This is so much more pool here. Because now you got to kick. You got to kick with what speed, what spin to get a certain effect. Where the jump, you just lob over the 9 and hit it.
Well, what I like, too, is when you see the jump shot happen with the full cue, it's pretty darn impressive as well.
Look at the speed that he chose.
Yeah.
And looks like he got him blocked here.
He does. There's a rail first, but I tell you got to like the effort there from Fedor. Hey, he's got to ease this a little bit. He's going to get thin on the 6, I believe. Oh, he hit the speed perfect. Yeah, man, that's a guy that's comfortable right there.
How good is he playing?
Yeah, that's a guy that's super comfortable.
Ball in hand position.
Yeah, but he almost had to overcut the 5 to the pocket also to get the line on the cue ball he wants. Otherwise, he kind of drifts towards that pocket a little more.
Right, you're much flatter, and then it makes the rest of the rack play tough. Here he just draws back.
Yeah, and that was, I think, intentional to overcut the 5. That's how good the guy's playing. Oh, he's got to check the cue ball kind of. I don't know if he can get much past the side here. I think, I dress up the side pocket here for the cue ball.
Jeremy's talking about just 2 cushion position, just to the side pocket on his left as he's shooting. He tried to check it up with inside spin to get a little closer.
And that's a result of the overcut. We talked about it. You don't even know sometimes you're really kind of pushing it to help the cue ball.
Yeah, the overcut wasn't because he's afraid of ball pocketing.
Yeah.
He was trying to manipulate the cue ball
Yeah.
with how he hit the pocket, and he just slightly missed that right side of the pocket.
Well, this will show you something about Fedor and how he's feeling. Not so much the shot's tough, but we'll see about the speed because he's got to dig on the cue ball, plus lay the speed down to not overhit it coming back for the 8.
And then the low right, you get a little masse. Now, Efren taught me this, that if you, well, he's not going that way.
Yeah,
Is
he's going to
Okay.
cue down. Remember, he aims middle ball and then kind of comes down with the tip when he's drawing. He caught a little thin to the pocket, but this is where Jayson was somewhat trying to get, I thought. So he's going to be happy, and I don't know. That may have been a little bit of a luck there because he overcut the ball pretty good and still came very near that side. So I don't know if he was trying to hit before the side right there, Mark, or come past it.
He was trying to gauge the speed nicely and then maybe decelerate just a little bit into the ball so it didn't come off quite as pure. But also, that's a super tough shot. I mean, how good are you playing when you almost miss?
Yeah, and I think we over-labeled the deceleration. I was thinking about that last night as well. It sounds worse. Sometimes it's not that they decelerate. They just don't accelerate like normal. You know what I mean? It's not the normal acceleration into the ball. So, like right there, he had to accelerate a little bit to be able to draw the ball in the 7. Right. Yeah, but it just wasn't his pure one, right?
My point was that he was long on the last one. It went only 2/3 of the way back on the backswing.
Right. And that's usually from a bit quick on the backswing. You get a little shorter. But still pretty solid.
I'd say this is absolutely living up to what I was hoping would happen here. Super high quality performance. So straight, so pure. 2-1, Gorst over Shaw.
Now, Jayson, of course, we saw a couple early mistakes yesterday against Shane, but really then kind of took over the match.
He looks far more focused in the early goings today, though. To me, he looks like he's on top of it. And the little mistakes here were not mental errors or lackadaisical errors, but rather just the inherent difficulty of a 10-foot table.
Well, I'll tell you, that word right there, focus, is the thing I saw immediately on day one at the Moscone from Jayson. And as the USA captain, it was alarming to me. I mean, I saw a little bit of a different Jayson that I've ever seen, maybe. So I think he's going to be one of a few to beat here the next several years in professional pool. I think he's trending in a great direction.
2 and the 3, right behind the 1. 6 and 7 are on the corners.
I think he may have been notified about the rack, about making sure it's random. Got the 3 down. The 1's going to hover over the side. What's the cue ball going to do? He's okay. Now this is difficult because, watch Jayson. He'll chip this in and go 1-2 rails between the 10-7 down for the short pocket on the 2. Looks pretty natural. Actually, it looks really nice, even though it's difficult.
18.97 on the Break Demon app.
Don't think the 2 passes the 4. It's got a spread.
He hit it just a little heavier than he planned.
Did.
Yeah.
He may get up here for well, he's going to be super stretched, so I doubt he takes on this offensively.
I think
long rail bank?
I think so. I think then try to introduce the 6 and or maybe he can even glide over here and get the 5 and the 8 involved too. I was watching him bank earlier. He's in the bank tournament, and boy, he's whistling these straight backs right on in, even from off angles too.
Do you see the right-hander? The left-hander using the bridge right-hander?
I do.
Yeah,
Good point. Yeah.
I think he golfs right-hand as well. So it's a little more common than you think.
Boy, I've never seen it before till you pointed it out, but he sure is.
Oh,
how'd he hit it?
Look at that. No rail, center pocket. Really stunned the cue ball in a perfect position, too, using the 6-9. Nevertheless, he's going to get out, or should. Okay. Got a little over the top, make a decision for the 6 in the side or the corner.
Stunned the cue ball ahead, ball and a half width there. Just get a little flatter here. Looks like he needs that same type of a shot here. Like to get on just this side of the 8 ball, right there. So it naturally tracks to the 9.
Yeah, and under pressure, people don't realize going forward like that just a little bit, it's not as easy as you think.
Well, if you dog the stroke, you can be completely out of line in about 6 inches.
Well, Shaw's just kind of one of those guys that sometimes he gets in that mode. He's going to do whatever it takes to get out. He's going to knock in whatever shots come along, and no matter how difficult.
Going to grab his extension here.
Like Earl in a sense. When Earl played his best, he's gonna make the balls that he needs to make to get out.
Yes. Honestly, in Earl's heyday, he would be trailing 7-3 going to 11, and the guy would feel pretty good because Earl had been a little shaky early on. And in all my years, I'm telling you, it's 50-50 you win the match.
Yeah.
You're not ahead. It's a even at that point.
Right.
And no one came back faster. But Shaw is much the same way. And he sometimes does start a match a hair lackadaisical, but he's not starting this match lackadaisical. That was his second break and run out there. We're all tied up. We got some great fans. I know Julie Ha is listening in, and she asks,
what was I going to
say? No, she asked, what was I going to say about Efren, what he taught me? And it's on that elevated shot where it's long range, and you don't want to get too much swerve on the cue ball. You want to hit down so the cue ball's bouncing down there so it doesn't grab on the cloth, right, to minimize that. And it was really interesting because I'd never considered that before. But, of course, that's the difference between a journeyman pro and an elite level pros. Those little subtle nuances.
Yeah, it's like a level cue versus a little downward strike. I believe in the downward strike. Most of the pros have a little downward strike. But what happens is, say you're shooting low left English. Well, a little bit of a downward strike, you're just using a little less portion of the tip. You still generate tons of spin and power, but you're not putting as much cue mass into the cue ball on the right side. So it's a much tighter deflection when you have that little hair of a downward angle like most of the pros do. You don't get as big a squirt as a level cue does.
And what you're saying is what Efren couldn't articulate. He just demonstrated.
Right, right.
But I agree.
Yeah, you're just using basically a quarter of the tip-ish. You're shooting low right. You're using the top left part of the tip instead of much more of the middle of the tip. Okay, he's got to get by the 10.
Another clean route. Didn't nudge anything. Everything super, super precise. You got to hit the pocket just right in the heart.
Yeah, and Fedor will leave that mistake behind getting snookered earlier, but I know the kid. He's not happy about it. I know that. He wants to redeem himself here, and he knows he's got to play a pretty picture-perfect match.
Fedor grabs his extension. Talked to him before. He loves the way his equipment's playing. He's real happy with his cue.
I love mine. I ain't gonna lie. The Q-Tech and the Duo extension that they came out with, it's so easy to change. Like make it this way, that way. Vary it up a little bit. The weight kit is unbelievable. Super. So much great technology in our sport these days. Anyways, got a little straightish here, so he's got to screw the cue ball back right underneath him and back out a little bit. Doesn't need a ton, but needs some.
Good shot there, and he didn't try to introduce side spin. When you hit downward like that, it makes it a little bit tougher to be pure.
Yeah, he's got a tricky one here a little bit, Mark. He's a little thin. Where's he go with it? He's not taking much time. He may be just sizing it up because normally Fedor will look a little bit.
Yeah, we got the overhead here. I think he can draw here
and kill it.
Shoot for this gap over here. The other thing is inside spin.
Yeah. Can he pull the ball below the 10, 2 rails, like before that side you were talking about, and then to the end rail and then up on the 5?
That means he has to get past that side pocket, I think, or else it's going to be really
tightish.
Tight. It's going to be real tight on the 5. There's not going to be much of a position zone that way.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's not anything beautiful. I mean, he's a little thin. I'd love to shoot the first shot, you said.
This is like that half a 8-iron type of a thing here. To stick it in between the 8 and 9.
I might go 1 rail at the 5. That's a safe shot. He tried to kill it, and he did great. Like that, 1 rail at the 5. You know, instead of trying to kill it too much, go ahead and get your line nice and just go with it. Right?
Yeah. That was, of all those little in-between shots, that was the one that was liable to be the most productive.
It was the most natural as well. Even though he had to cue it with some English and do a few things, it was still fairly natural. Ooh, watch out for that speed. It looks okay.
It looks great to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Just used to those slick tables, those beds are pretty fast. Now he'll just pinch back maybe 6-8 inches.
Even got the hint of the right angle there, so he's stroking pretty darn nice. Those ball speeds are affected so dramatically by how the object ball hits the pocket, people don't realize it. Amateurs are just glad to get a ball in the pocket. Pros need to hit a part of the pocket. Man. Well, another quality break and run out.
Perfection right there. Fedor Gorst.
Both
leads
players
it
now
after
have
5 racks, 3
two
games
break
to
and
2.
runs.
Jayson will have the break. Chance to tie things up.
Yeah, and I think this event has grown so much, not only because the 10-foot is so fun to watch and it's an interesting table to see these top players, but just the class of the players playing in the events today. I think that has made the crowds want to grow.
Here's a look at the early performance average. 23 balls pocketed for Shaw and 27 for Gorst. A little early, that's going to change a lot, but certainly balls pocketed is an important aspect of these matches.
Yeah, I don't think that error column will change a whole lot from here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to see some more of them, but that's for sure. But really the one error Fedor had was that positional error getting on the 6 earlier when he snookered himself, or getting on the 5, or I believe it was. He ended up behind the 6-7, but maybe it was the 4 ball, actually.
We got the best fans in the world, too. Dick Al-Shaheen over in Ohio's tuned in. Lorenzo Funches up in Chicago. Catherine Gregory down in Florida. I know she's got a party going on. Glad to have you guys aboard. Perfectly square hit.
Yeah, it looks
Cue
like a
ball
little
checked up.
more speed on it that time. The one was a little hotter than Jayson's had for the most part. Super tough shot here. He's got to go 3 rails for a thin 2 in the side, maybe. Would you? I might zigzag this above the 3, hit right before the side, and spread the cue balls back for the 2 in the side.
Yeah, if we can grab the overhead real quick.
I think
show
he
you
likes 3 rails, though.
Jeremy's talking about, well, we didn't get the overhead. So anyway, the zigzag shot is a pretty shot because it's slippery claw, so it does open up, so he could get possibly the 2 in the side.
Yeah, he's looking at that position point now, and the thing is, I don't know if he could try to get the most out of that. Jayson can knock the 3 in from some distance. He maybe doesn't have to get the great angle on the 2. Okay. It's like right in between, Mark, for the zigzag or the 3 rail. 3 rails, if you're off of here, you can catch the 4 or the 9. The zigzag, you got to get above the 3, so the side pocket's a little bit dangerous.
And if you clip the 3, you go in the side. Here's that. He tried to warp it around, but the overspin arced it into the end rail and created too much angle. It needed to be a little flatter coming into that.
Yeah, I'd have liked to have seen him shoot the zigzag just to see if it was very doable.
It's a very pretty shot to watch.
Yeah, and it's funny. Under pressure, the pros will go to that shot a lot more often than the 3 rails. It's a funny thing. Bustamante is the one that convinced me of that. He's like, Jeremy, you got to leave that 3 rail behind under pressure. Sometimes you got to bring the cue ball back, like we said, zigzagging the cue ball, because the beauty is you don't worry about your stroke too much because the cue ball gets killed with the English a little.
Yeah.
Not only is it spread, but it also slows it down, so you're not worried about speed control.
This looks like that kick and stick maybe rather than thin it.
I think he can edge it.
Well, the problem is edging it goes towards the 10, and these guys do not like to leave the object ball near the 10.
It does, but I think he's still going to feel pretty comfortable running the cue ball past the 9. So as long as he gets past the 9, very hard to give up the 10 ball. Is there enough room to kick and stick behind
Right,
it,
that's
Mark?
the issue. If there is, I think he does like that shot. Well, here's the deal. He's good. Yeah, he's going to be good here. But, you know, if you just hit just a micro dot thinner or thicker, then you a lot of times can give up a play at the 10. And these guys hate losing a game off of a safety where the guy just makes a combination on the 10.
Yeah, I wonder what he's sizing up right here.
I think he was looking at one rail kick off the long rail at the 2.
Well, I think he's got some of the 2.
Yeah, he does. Right. He was just looking at, could I make the 10 if I go that way? But that's why he decided not to.
Definitely playing the double kiss off the 10 with the cue ball, trying to get the 2 ball up a little bit.
These little exchanges right here is what separates the greats from the good. And the great player somehow gets himself back to the table from awkward layouts like this. And most of us don't practice it because it's not glamorous practice, but it's winning pool at this level. Everybody pockets the balls well.
Oh, that's a nice hit
He
there.
made that look so simple.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, you know.
Right, a lot of things can go wrong on that
Yeah,
shot.
he gives up a pretty duck shot if he doesn't lay that down. Kicks this in sometimes.
Like that?
Yeah. He's going to have to do it again, I believe. Ooh, man, tough hit here.
This is so much more fun without the jump cue.
Yeah.
And honest to goodness, this is just as real pool here. And maybe I'm too old school.
No,
I will concede that. But
I'm the same.
what a nice hit that was, too, from
Yeah,
awkward, obtuse angle like that.
He's going to get leave Fedor a tough shot if that doesn't double kiss right there. The cue ball's coming to the end rail and the 3's coming past the side. That double kiss, pretty unfortunate on a great hit there by Jayson. It's a little touchy both ways. Killing it with inside or coming across it with outside. It's not terribly tough, but I think it's going to be inside English. Key here is really can't overcut it, so make sure you stay thin on the 3.
Pure. That is so easy to end up hitting that heavy because you want to take the pace out of the cue ball mass, and then somehow right at the last instant you try to get a little heavier and help yourself out, and then you end up hanging the ball and feel stupid. But
yeah, well, what happens is when you let up on it, the cue doesn't continue going through, so you don't deflect the ball as much either into where you want it, and it's just a very common thing. I'll just remind people, remember, let your tip position kill the ball, not your stroke. You still have that little acceleration in there, and things will be all right. He's going to shoot the gap here, probably take a little distance on the 5. Yeah, no reason to go crazy getting close to it with that trouble lurking.
now he has very shallow angles, pretty straight, so you can top spin, but that leads away from the 6, which is never as comfortable, or you can try to go around 2 cushions. But if you slightly pocket the ball crudely, you can run into the 10 and have a real problem.
I think he minimizes it here with top with just a – this is where you stay away from extreme right, just a little bit of right. I mean, like a quarter tip. Make sure you get through the ball. Yeah, like that. Then you just play a good speed control. You know nothing terrible is going to happen.
Look at how beautiful that speed was, though, with that inside spin. Just that hint. Yeah, he's straight in the side.
Yeah, and I've had to relearn that, just really focusing on just a hair of that inside English. Everything becomes better. You make a little better stroke on the ball, seems like. Looking for our first, this will be our first 2-game lead of the match.
Yeah, I think both players knew this is the big one here. You could not make unforced errors. And Gorst, his mental effort that he puts out, and it bleeds off energy. If you're not used to focusing like this, there's no way to produce a result that we're witnessing here. This takes years of training. You don't just turn it up when you get to the tournament here. You have to do this on the practice table too.
And it's almost like you know, nobody likes to be struggling, right? But you have to.
Gorst opens up a 2-game lead now.
How do I explain it, Mark? You know, when you're practicing, you have to.
Right.
I mean, people say you got to fight through it or whatever you want to call, but you got to you got to know some struggles are going to come along and how you're going to process it. And I've sat there and watched Fedor in Moscow at the Basel practice, and he's not just swinging the cue. He's processing what's going on and what happened with the stroke. And
Right.
look at that, 971.
One error, 34 balls pocketed.
I don't know if he came here at a young age and got to the final of this event at a very young age. I don't know if he got to play if he's got to play in it again since. So, guys,
No, he's played in it every year.
well, okay, he has. Okay,
the
so
Bigfoot.
He didn't have to miss it because of his age.
Yeah, that 1 year.
1
he
year.
did.
Okay, 1 year.
Yeah, he. Mr. Papa Giorgio lost his ID here. So. What a relief to not have to have a fake ID to play in the year that he didn't get to play. He was the world champion, but he wasn't quite good enough to play at the Derby City.
Yeah.
Right? What a shame, too. And he puts his whole heart into it. I mean, he plays his matches and then he watches pool on his phone while he's watching another match as he's sitting in the stands preparing for yet another match.
You think he takes the simple safety here, just shaving the one and coming up just, kind of where the cue ball's at now, using the 3-5. I know he wants to be more effective than that. But
Yeah.
Trying to see if there's anything else that's not too risky.
These guys hate passive responses because the other guy's so dangerous. Even if you hook them and they can kick and hit it, and a lot of 20% of the time they get a backdoor safety after they hit it. So.
Yeah, he'd love to run the cue ball. I'm just kind of curious where. There's all kinds of mild safeties with the 3-5 there you can play. He went
banking.
for the bank.
Yeah, he just felt like that there was a chance to win with that shot rather than go through the circumstance of playing back and forth on the kick and safety game.
We got the cue ball perfect for the 2, that's for sure, to get that little angle to be able to move it. And Jason's got to pay attention to this.
I think that helped too, that he thought if he scores that ball, he can get out with it.
Yeah, the 2 to the 3 is tricky. The 7 and 6 being there, the 7's the real killer, but the 6 kind of cuts you off from getting that natural angle to move the cue ball around a couple rails for the 3. Like get behind it a little bit on the 2 and be able to move it easily around the table. But
yeah, this is an uncomfortable mental type of a shot when Jayson takes this much time over it. Look at that hit. Oh, it's a nice hit, but no reward.
Might go for this. I mean, it's a cut, but he's close to it.
You mean you're talking about a bank?
Yeah, he's going to put him behind the 7.
Yeah, he says, see this 7 ball? Let me introduce you to the 7 ball there, Fedor. Oh, this is a tough kick, too.
Yeah, I think
Looks like you have to warp the angle with spin.
Yeah, I think Jason's giving him a little more of that side rail than he wanted, that's for sure. He can get at this, and I'll tell you, if he hits the 2, the cue ball's got to go above the 6 and 7 most likely, and there's some areas for a snooker here. I mean, very hard to hit the 2 and go straight through it below the 6, right?
Right, but the side pocket right by his hand is looming large. He might go soft speed. He might go soft speed on this.
You just got to take a chance with that. You got to hit the top of it anyways. Oh, he got in there into the bottom. How'd he do that? And I'll tell you what, he's left things very difficult for Jayson, even though an easy ball to pocket.
Yeah, he hit the center of the object ball rather than the high side, but that was the speed that would have led the cue ball up over the top of the 7 to the other side in between the side pocket. Maybe could have played a safety, that kick safe. So.
I think he definitely was trying to do that, that's for sure. Jayson can't quite draw his ball underneath him 3 rails either. The cue ball's going towards the pocket he's standing near.
Hint to the wrong angle, and he can't really stun the cue ball into the 10-9 and put it right in that little gap because he probably pocket the ball if he does.
Look at this. He's going to power through the 9 with follow. Sweat it.
Pretty shot. Oh,
yeah, I love that
goodness.
shot. I love that shot.
Wow, that really deserves some applause.
Yeah.
Tremendous effort there.
Not one that comes up very often either.
Into a shallow side pocket, high velocity, warp speed. Lose all the momentum.
This is the shot we were talking about with side spin. I don't think he's chopping it in natural. So watch out if he's flicking it with side spin, even with a more extension, that he doesn't catch this thick. Oh, he didn't spin it at all. He just rolled it. He's feeling good with his touch. Well, he's gotten quite a bit out of line here. And the problem was he can move, but what if he gets straight on the 7? That's what the problem is with this 6, is when you have to work the rock back over, your speed can be a little off and you can get a little flat on the 7 and cause a little problems getting on the 9.
Looks like inside spin. Yep. Pretty shot. Pretty shot.
Yeah, but watch out for straight.
This guy can shoot anything. He doesn't worry about all
Okay,
that.
he's all right. It was close to getting funny, though.
I know. I almost like it when he does get straight. I like to watch how pretty it is when he runs out anyway.
Got a lot out of that cue ball there.
It is so much fun to see Jayson Shaw operate on a 10-foot table and make it look like a Valley 3.5 by 7. I've never seen players overpower the table like Jayson Shaw.
Hits it within 1, and he'll have the break heading into rack 8.
Okay, while he's racking, let's take another look at that force follow shot. It was ever so interesting. Jeremy called it and did a great job. What happened here, look at how heavy he's going to go, but it's a narrow side pocket. And look at how the cue ball completely stopped and then the spin grabbed. So, really good. Really good. Okay, 4-3 is our score. 947 for Gorst, 872 for Shaw. He ramped up the power a little bit there. Is the 7 going to connect? It did find the pocket, and now he's hooked on the side. Jayson threatens the cue ball for hooking him.
Yeah, he's going to have to roll out behind the 5 here, I think,
Tough
for
push out.
a kick shot
Tough
of some
push
sort
out
here.
Yeah, but it's, I mean.
That's touchy. Even the rollout's
right,
touchy. But,
right.
I mean, I don't know of anything else. Oh, he's going to roll out to the rail first behind the 6. That's fine. That's fine. He might get this back, though, if it gets awkward.
And this is really a testimonial why I don't even like the rollout rule anymore. It died. You got to push out to a kick. You had a kick, and that's not where the luck is in pool anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's I talked about it before. I'm a pretty stubborn guy for the rules. You know, I think the guys years ago who invented the game pretty smart, right? But the one rule I wouldn't mind seeing that change is no rollout after the break. I think it would be good in a lot of ways.
Well, the rollout after the break was instituted by the ESPN.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you were there, but
no,
we used to play every shot was 2-shot rollout, and it was very skillful. You'd see way greater runouts because you could take a chance. Again, didn't push out if you get hooked. So
but I just think the exchange between the rollout and decisions, oh, you got it back. I just think for fans and future people,
absolutely,
it may be best without the rollout at all. But
yep.
And it throws in a variable there that gives the underdog, I think, a hair more of a chance, which is never a bad thing for sports. You know, I mean, so, I mean, don't get me wrong. If the better player had to kick or do certain things the same amount of times as the lesser player, it would be equal, right? But you could have matches to where the better player gets a little bit more snookered and whatnot and has to kick at the ball after the break.
Well, in my experience, and I'm not disputing that. I'm saying that the luck in pool is not the first shot after the break. The luck is when a guy misses and hooks you.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where the luck is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And ESPN, the players rebelled and they compromised and said, we'll leave the push out in after the break and then after that. And so it's just been there and nobody ever thinks about it. But that died a long time ago. It solves nothing but gums up the rules. then you try to explain it to somebody that's new. You could just say one foul ball in hand, but then you have to throw in, except on the first shot after the break, in which case the incoming player can blah, 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 and you've lost them. You might as well go ahead and chisel it in Greek language for them to understand it.
Surprised he didn't edge the right side of that ball and come 2 rails behind the 10 towards the 4. He had a massive wall of balls there with the 10, 9, 8, 3, and 2. Now he's left a very cuttable shot there for Fedor, and one that he's going to attack on. Can he not hit the 4 with the cue ball with a little inside spin maybe?
I think he gets by the 4 if he makes it. If he makes a clean hit, I don't think he has to have spin. I think he just wants it to help preserve the side.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another thing. If he does catch the 4 with just natural, it's going to be thin, and the cue ball is going to come down the table anyways.
Yeah.
Off the back rail, I think he may shave the 4 on the way out. We'll see.
He feels this might be the rack winning shot right here.
I feel the same, Mark. He's overcut it.
Yeah, overcut it, and that takes the 4 out of it altogether.
Yeah, and I wonder if the 4 was on his mind a little bit.
Now, Jayson, very thin hit. He's perfectly capable of making it, but the cue ball is going heavy into the 10. He might be thinking about not even bothering with that. He might be thinking about trying to lock the cue ball down. This is interesting. He's going to try to get behind the 4 here.
He's cutting it in, I think. Oh, no. Nice shot. Center of that end rail, Mark. We talk about it all the time. That's really a place you have to learn to go to.
Yeah, much better effort on the safety on this time at the table. Now, Fedor, 2 cushions.
Probably. It's a little funny. The side pocket's kind of like the exact natural place to hit for the 2-railer, it looks like to me. So he's going to have to manipulate. Past the side, he could whiff this, even with the left English, because Jayson did such a great job putting him on the rail. He can't hit downward on a little bit and get a little bit of dig to recreate the angle and the route of the cue ball. I think, he's shaking his head. This is sitting very funny. I might just go 1 rail before the side at it.
Yep, and you can scratch just as easy as come out of it good, too, because
Yeah,
the 5 is huge if you hit the top side of that 1.
And you see him elevating the cue right there. He was trying to get a little dig to hit past the side and be able to come 2 rails underneath.
Totally aware that 1 railer at the 1 leads to a scratch quite often.
And I think he's just got to go 1 rail. I really do.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take a chance, knowing that it's, as Grady would say, fraught with peril.
You might kick it right on in anyways.
You can make it, too.
Got a big 5 ball there. Could go off of. Medium speed. Yeah, that's all you can do. Try and make a nice hit and see what happens. He's left a tough shot on the 1, a little cueing funny over the 5, but nothing that Jayson's going to back down on.
But the 2 doesn't play natural, that's for sure.
I think he can draw 1 rail maybe.
Get to the side pocket and just stay on the long rail. I see what you're saying, yeah. Then you can play it in the corner.
He might get it all the way out, Mark. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, he tried
overcut
to.
it.
But that's also overcutting it, let the cue ball have more pace. So
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be that easy. Did he leave a combination? Yes, he did.
And that was just a hair quick on the transition there from Jayson. Not something you see very often.
That's what you don't see with Fedor. His tempo and timing of the stroke is supreme.
Now Gorst in a great spot to get that 2-game lead again. He's got to work a little bit. 3 to the 4. That's definitely some work.
Fedor was runner-up in this very event, and he's always finished decent in it. He's only 21 years old. It's hard to imagine that you can just, be a top player at 21 years old, but it's a testimonial to his discipline and work ethic at home. Gets up at 7 in the morning every day, works out physically, and then begins training at pool. And his whole life is consumed with pool. Every molecule of his body is dedicated to pool. And that's the only way to get like this. One time I was talking to him about how he developed, and he said, in Northern Europe, there's a youth program that has a tournament and is very organized. And he says over 100 kids come every month and plays in this. And then he looked at me, and he's not really a joking kind of a guy, and he wasn't speaking of himself. He said there's 5 or 6 kids in that program that will be world champions, and he's not talking about himself. Like, holy moly. He said there's tons of guys really training hard, and boy, we need that in America if we're ever going to recreate our sport.
Okay. See, even more like reminding himself to get back in that focus from Fedor right now, just even taking a hair more time, making sure. Knows he's gotten a few maybe extra opportunities from Jayson that normally wouldn't happen. Probably isn't going to continue to happen in this match. So, okay, this one here got a little funny, a little thin to come one rail, that's for sure. So you may have to play 3 rails underneath the 8 here for the side pocket. Going around is because the 8 doesn't pass the 10. So
Right.
you can't afford to catch that 9 and get funny to where you can't shoot the combo, but you can't shoot the 8, right? So
Yep.
back and forth is a little dicey with the 9 being there. Not much room to hit the second rail with the side pocket there. So he's
If we-
gotten a little off.
If we can, well, it's too late now. But anyway, what Jeremy's saying is don't come back out to the center of the table. Normally that's where you head for. But play the 8 for the side pocket over here where the 6 ball is laying, or the corner pocket.
Yeah. And a mild speed. It wasn't ever going to get in a bad spot. It may get a little bit off angle, but
And he was out. He knew the cue ball would be off the cushion where it gets his bridge hand down. So being a little off angle plays so much easier when you have your bridge hand out on the table bed.
yeah, and you're a foot from it, right?
And yeah.
So
Right.
accuracy should be at a premium.
Then you'll just play the 9 back into the side pocket. So it's just minimum travel with the cue. No, he went for draw. Okay, now it's in the corner pocket.
Yeah, I think it was a little off, and he was going just a shade towards the 10. So went ahead and put a little into the cue ball, and you can see pretty good decision there.
Oh boy, this is high performance pool right here. You're seeing it. He's taking advantage of every opportunity. 5-3 our score now. And this is where, the heat gets turned up on the free stroking Jayson Shaw. And we know Jayson Shaw can come back from behind, but I'm just saying, no, he can't have misfortunes happen for sure.
Well, yeah, and, Jayson can handle the heat, of course, but that's just all you could do anyways, because there is going to be times and places where the heat gets to all of us. And it doesn't, the thing with this, it doesn't have to get to him much. It's not like Jayson's going to continually just make some mistakes, but
Right.
if Fedor can put some heat and promote one more big mistake in this match, may be all it needs to get the win. Now 2 games up and breaking, so this is where that heat starts right here on this break shot.
Wants to be productive from the break naturally and try to stifle Jayson Shaw getting innings at the table.
Well, Fedor hasn't been like every time making balls like we saw before at 20.3 here now, and don't think he has anything offensive.
But glad to have first chance to control the table, though. That's still a big
Absolutely.
advantage.
Well, the good thing is he's got a big 5 ball, right? So with the bridge or stretched, he can bank the 1 away and kind of lightly stun right into the 6. Pretty simple shot. Not sure that's what he's going to do. He may feather the 1 instead, but I kind of like shooting the 1 away and going right into the 6 with the cue ball, slowly into the 6. Oh, he followed up. He can reach it
gorgeous.
easy.
Yeah, great decision, great
Oh, yeah.
execution.
I didn't know he could get by the 5 so easily with top English. Man, he hit it nice.
And just try it at home if you think that's an easy shot. Just try and pin that to the 5 ball. You're going to be practicing for a while to be consistent enough to do it. And
Watch this between the 4-7.
the Z shot. We haven't seen that for a
Might
while.
make this one. This one's just nice to hit. Oof.
Fedor is rewarded with a great play from the break here. This is, if he gets out here, it's just like a break and run. You pinned your man down where he ended up having to give you ball in hand. So just as valuable.
And we'll see how far he goes here on this first shot. He's got a 2 in the side that's pretty handy, and the only reason he may do that is not only it's the shortest distance for the cue ball treble on this shot, but if you get around, you could get a little funny on the. He's going to play drawback.
Well, if you play the 2 in the same pocket as the 1, you're going right at the 3 with your cue ball once you pocket it. So that might have contributed to the reason, because if you get a little funny into the side pocket, you can't get on the 3.
Right. Well, with ball in hand, though, I kind of felt like he only had to move it like 3-4 inches, 5 inches. So.
Right. No, that's true, too. Yep. I guess he felt very comfortable getting here, and clearly we can see he's got the nice angle, 1 rail out.
Well, I've commented on his play before. It seems like, he sticks more like the guys years ago, a little more corner pocket than side pocket, which I like myself. Corner pocket, to me, seems to keep you in stroke.
Now you just go 1 rail and out, play the 4 in the corner. Now he's going to the side.
That's surprising. As soon as I said that, position was right in front of him to shoot the 4 by the 5, I thought. Excuse me.
Well, in either case, he's good in the cue ball.
Yeah, he's great.
Certainly not going to second guess this guy.
Okay, he probably goes 2 cushions here. Being close to the 7, no big deal. Doesn't have to do that. Just makes sure he stays clear of any real trouble. Probably wanted a little bit more out of that to make, a little easier from the 7 to the 8, but that's not going to slow him down. Go 3 rails around here, Mark. Cheat the pocket on the 7 a little bit.
Yeah, and this is where that clean pocketing, so you have your ball speed right.
Yeah, he can spread it pretty nice, almost to where he's at now with the cue ball if he wants.
That's good speed.
Like that.
That's good speed right there. Beautiful.
Yeah, and again, once you get used to like coasting into position, right, your touch becomes much better, and really nothing bad hardly ever happens because the cue ball's not racing. Watch these top players. Their cue ball goes a long ways, Mark, but it never seems like it's going that fast. Huh?
That's just like a break and run out. And Jayson Shaw wisely is going to take a timeout here. This is the time of the match to use that player timeout. And don't let the match slip away. If you get 4 or 5 games behind, the timeout is almost a moot point. We're here, maybe regroup a second here. All right, everybody, we will be right back momentarily. Just now, we are reaching the midpoint of the match. Jayson Shaw has just come back from a break. He's leading off here with the break, trailing 6-3. Couple balls down on the break. Cue ball was stopped in the center and got kissed down table. I don't know if
I think he's got a shot.
He might have an open look at that 1 ball. Looks like he does. We'll be able to tell by his body language. It appears that he does because he seems pretty content here.
The 2 goes. So just a little bit of a draw stroke here. Doesn't need, a couple feet maybe at the max.
Eagle eye. Look at that nice stroke. Look at that nice stroke. Effortless draw. Everything kind of lines up here. Not a whole lot to say about these.
Just a 1 rail position here, back to somewhat the center. Okay, you got it. I wouldn't say not enough angle to stun around easily, but now he's got to address it. He's going to stun it because of that power he possesses, easy power.
You could hear the object ball hit the back of that pocket all the way up here.
Now that ball ran quite a bit here. Just one he's got to pay attention to. 7 doesn't go by the 10, so we'll see what he's elevating. Wow, soft draw. That's a touchy shot, boy. elevating with a light stroke like that, very difficult. He made it look easy, Mark, but that's one of the touchiest shots you can do.
Well, that's from the last week where he pocketed 9,000 balls, literally 9,000 balls, trying to break the all-time high run record. Finally did. And, boy, nothing like that. Nothing can get you a stroke more than something like that. Nice break and run out.
Much needed, too, right?
Yeah, 9-4 or 6-4 now. That's his third break and run out of the set, too, by the way.
Yeah, and he only has 4 games on the board, so
yeah,
it's been a ace up his sleeve at least for this match. Now he's got to get some other things going. He's got to win some other kind of games. The National Billiard Academy rack track. They split them out after the first 4, and then Gorst winning 4 out of 6. So that's where you see our difference in the score line at 6-4. I wouldn't say Federer's been as convincing on the break as I've seen before.
I agree. Yet he has 2 break and runs so far of his 6 wins.
Yeah. And, you know, it's not like he dry broke. It just wasn't balls going in as quickly. This ball's in the side, not going in as always. Now this is going to work out pretty nice. He's going to get thin on the 1, but I think it's a shootable shot, Mark.
Yeah, and delighted to have even this. I mean, naturally you'd like something easy to play from, but this is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, when they're close to it like that, the 2's open, I think these guys would take this a lot. I mean, the 3 to the 4 is going to be a little tricky. He's going to have to make some type of nice positional play from the 2 to the 3 to get easily to the 4, and the problem with that is when you're thin on the 1, you know, total prediction of the cue ball and the path and the outcome of the cue ball here for the 2 can sometimes be tough. Can he kill it with inside here, Mark? Or does he have to go an outside English trying to pull the ball here? That's what he's doing. He's cueing middle right, but watch the tip drop down and go. Oh, he hit. Oh. I thought he was going to pull the ball there, Mark.
Well,
he
got
one of perfect.
Those, he could have did either thing, but he went with what he felt was the most comfortable, and it's still a little iffy.
Well, and he made the 1 look not as thin as I thought it was. You know, the way he calmly came across the table, you know, no big deal. But he's gotten on the good side of the 2 to get to the good side of the 3 to make things easier to get on the proper side of the 4. The thing here on this drawback, he can't go too far, but he's got to stay off the rail with the cue ball. This is an important part of that shot.
And it leads to the rail, too. This just hint of the wrong angle. Or it's the right angle to get on the 3, but it's the right angle to get on the rail.
That's
good
perfect.
Job.
That's absolutely perfect.
Even has the right angle now to stun down table.
Well, one thing you can learn from that is he used straight draw, which made the cue ball not have to be very hot coming off the rail. He's perfect. He can stun right by the 9. No problem. I mean, this is like almost ball in hand position. Just slowly come down the table here. Don't want a ton of speed on the cue ball.
Now you'd rather be short here than long. That's a little shorter than he really wanted, but he stayed off the end rail. Or off the scratch, too. Now the angular Gorst is going to have to put his extension on and use that angular frame.
Yeah, and he kind of made a little bit of a face like, hey, I could have used a little more out of the cue ball there. And the thing is, he's processing that. You know, he's remembering that. So, okay, I don't see any need for a lot of side spin here. Probably just if he wants a hair of it, that's fine. But he can come all the way to the 8 and 9 and be just fine with the cue ball. Might put a touch of inside, huh? Oh, that kind of kicked on him a little bit. You know, well, you could tell it kicked on him because the cue ball caught the 7. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but the cue ball caught the 7 a little bit, and the 7 wasn't in play at all if the ball cuts cleanly.
Jayson's in a bad way here. He cannot go rail first off the long rail, and he might not be able to access, and that 4 is so deep.
You can't see the 4 at all, huh?
Well, I mean, look at him. You know, he's certainly disappointed.
He doesn't look too happy. Right?
Yeah, From here, I thought maybe he could get a piece of the 4, and now he's down looking, eagle eye. Yeah. He's not happy about it for sure. It's not just a routine play, and it's so deep. If you kick at it, it's one. If you go up and down the table, it's easy to scratch. It's easy to miss the entire ball.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to make this kick though.
Oh yeah.
Long rail or short rail, I think he's supposed to make it, but very rarely you get in this situation where that ball's hanging. You can't get around this ball at all, one way or another. Of course, he's too far away to curve anything. Too stretched.
Good camera work there where we could take a good look at the 4. That was nice.
Yeah, and this one here, he could double kiss and just stay there, but don't whiff the 4 trying to get extra. Oh, he hit the 5. Wow, that's he shouldn't have done that.
That's going to be a loss of game.
Yeah, that's loss of game. Yeah. I thought it was loss of game.
What is he doing? Yeah. And then to roll the ball over to the player, that's weird too. None of that was right.
Okay. Well, it sounds like he's gotten a warning for stopping the cue ball.
Well, no matter what, that's wrong.
Yeah. And the 5 would have definitely been moved there. Okay, he's got to have a nice speed coming one rail cross. I don't think from this fat angle, normally on the fat angle here on the 7, you don't try and catch the second rail, huh, Mark? Normally you just float into the position here when you're a little heavy on the 7 like this. Now, if you're a little thinner coming across off the 7, nothing wrong with catching that second rail sometimes.
Nice job there, Jeremy, for the way you called that.
Fedor's going to get that 3-game lead again. Really surprised he missed that kick. I mean, he wanted to use the side rail for sure. So surprised he went at the 5 like that.
I'm really glad that the game turned out this way. That way there's no controversy over right and wrong here.
8:33 and 9:29 for the 2 guys. Makes sense, those TPAs.
It was felt that, for anyone watching, that Shaw was issued a warning, but that's still not how it works. Even if that's the rules, it's improper because you can use that to your advantage when you're going to get in a dilemma and maybe break up a cluster or something. Just grab the cue ball.
Right, and then take the warning.
So that's why there's, and that's why there's not unsportsmanlike conduct. Whoever made up that rule, if that is in fact the rule, is wrong. It's not how it's done. It's an automatic loss, and then we move on, and that's his warning. This is what happens when you do that. Because, or I could just grab an object ball and pin it to the rail or something.
Right.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it's like Jersey Red. He said, yeah, they came out with that rule. If you touch a ball, it's a foul. So he's playing one pocket, right? And so he just says, okay. So he touched the ball and he fouled, and his next turn at the table, he just took the cue and raked all the balls near his pocket. He says, I owe another one. So you can even put 2 up there if you want. 2 coins.
Yeah. Well, it's also like pinning the cue ball to the inside of the pocket with your tip.
Yeah, terrible.
You lose the game there, too.
Yeah. There's certain players that have really pushed the rules in certain areas. I think it was Danny Harriman. Where the guy had a ball hanging in his pocket, his out ball, but he had a ball that was shootable above the kitchen line, so he couldn't just follow it in. So he shot it away and then double hit it on while it was moving and made the guy's ball.
Yeah.
And called a foul on himself, but you can't intentionally foul like that. There's all kinds of intentional fouls in one pocket, but you can't intentionally cue foul like that. So
no, that's where it broaches the line of just taking a foul and unsportsmanlike conduct.
Right, exactly. Not how the game was intended. And now a tricky 6-ball here. Tricky 6-ball. Barely goes by the 8 if it does go. I think it does. because that's what he's sizing up, man. But
Boy.
he's got a great angle here, Mark, but still speed's got to be great. Line, kind of feel like he's going to hit the line. Could end up froze on the end rail. Oh, no, he's gotten pretty nice here. He may even have the side pocket. I don't know. It's close.
Looks like he does. The overhead hides us here. I'm going to have to quit looking at that. I need to, because it looks like down on the table. Good. Wow, what a shot.
Shot.
What a shot. Eagle eye. Showing some good fight here. And 10 ball away. It's down. A retaliatory break and run out here is fourth of the match.
Jayson
He trails in the match 7 games to 5. Gorst will be breaking.
Gorst will have the break, leading 7 games to 5.
Here's our total performance average. You can see balls pocketed for Gorst a little ahead, few less errors. And there the score line and the TPA go with both of those at 9.29 for Gorst and 8.59 for Shaw. There's the NBA rack track. Been, pretty square overall. I mean, you figure after 12 games, somebody's probably going to have a lead. It's hard to exchange 6-6 like in game for game like that. So we're in a battle here at 7-5 in this race to 11. This is the first semifinal of the Bigfoot Challenge here in 2022.
This is like the Players' Championship. The players all respect. It doesn't go to the all-round, which is fine. But the players know.
Watch out, 9 ball. What's the 9 going to do? Is he going to cut off the pocket? No.
He's all good.
He's real good.
He's loving this.
Yeah, whatever angle he has here is fine. I think it's a little bit, but it's fine. The 4's near the 5. Little work from the 6 to the 7 later, but these first 3 or 4 are pretty handy. Right, Mark? I mean, this is just like ideal. You have an angle, but not too much. You're facing the one straight in the corner.
Is he going forward to play the 2 in the side?
No,
he was
he's
stunning.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, just perfect.
Okay, it was laying that good.
Yeah, everything's laying good. I don't know if he can draw past the 9 here or not. The angle's real close to going towards the 9. If not, he'll follow his ball a little inside.
I kind of like the 3-rail follow shot there.
Well, I mean, if you can draw it straight back, you would, right? But it's going towards the 9, so he wants to get pretty heavy on the 4. No reason to get crazy thin.
Perfect shot there.
Yeah, and really just, again, the 6 to the 7, the real work in the rack.
The cleanest, straightest cueing of any of our participants in this event this week has to go to Gorst. It is so slow. It is Steve Davis-like. That's the only one I could even think of that used to present that type of cueing. Very, very straight. The backswing, the straightest backswing.
Yeah, and I see his backswing as never being fast, but I see it as being like a nice relaxed, that's just a relaxed drawback, it seems like to me.
Yeah,
and this really sets up to accelerate down through the ball.
Good call. Great tempo.
Yeah, it's just a comfortable looking thing to watch, right? So he should be pinching this. Yeah. Sometimes hard to tell with Fedor because he does aim a somewhat around middle-ish ball and then comes down with the tip. All right, just 1 rail out. No reason to come behind the 8 here. A lot of players get involved with that, trying to come behind and make a natural running cue ball, but you tend to make a few more mistakes, believe it or not, doing that. Occasionally you get straight. Occasionally you don't really want that hot cue ball coming off the 8. You want something you can keep in control. We'll see how far he elects to move the cue ball here. He's overcut it just a smudge, so he's going to have to make a little more of a shot on the 9, but not bad. Not taking anything for granted.
Oh,
Right?
no, he wants to hit the heart of the pocket for sure. He's not just hitting it at the pocket. Nothing but net. Boy, this really cranks up the heat on Shaw, too, because this guy is not backing off. You're not getting second chances.
No, he's getting better. Started out great, had a few fumbles there in the middle. But now the last several racks he's played
rack and the breaking
really
run
well.
From Fedor Gorst.
Third breaking run of the set here.
Now the eagle eye, Jayson Shaw.
You got to keep the eagle eye off
As
the
the
table,
break.
and that's one way to do it.
5-8.
Not let him come to the table. Shaw's won 5 games, 4 by break and run out. We got Jim and Pat Comley tuned in. They're watching. They made note that these guys do not break as hard as Jim the Crusher Comley back in Fairview Heights, Illinois. We also got Michael McDaniel, Lincoln, Illinois, tuned in. Jameson Daniels. Not sure where he's from, but glad to have you guys aboard. Okay, Shaw breaking. 8 and 9, right behind the rack. 9 found the side.
So did the 8.
So did the 8. The 1's checking up
Really
over the pocket, right where he
square,
likes
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and he's got a nice open side of the table where the 2's at near that rail. So that'll be nice to shoot the 1 and come 3 rails and lay on the side rail. That way you can shoot the 2 and come over to the good side of the 3. Interesting on Jayson's rack, the 10 has moved to the back rail a few times. Okay, he wants that to slow down a little bit. That's a little hot. And not so much for getting snookered, I don't think, but now he's got a tough straight shot to get on the 3.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. You
Yeah.
can't jam this either because that's a narrow pocket as you approach it from that angle with high velocity.
Man, he's trying to see if he can go forward and come all the way down. Oh, he's partially snookered. Cue stick's going up in the air here. This object ball could go off the table.
He's just skipping the edge.
Yeah, I knew he wanted to draw it, right? So a lot of times you'll put a little effort into that, and if you get one funny little hop before it contacts the object ball, that 2 ball could have got airborne.
Now this is that testy little shot. It's the opening of your inning, and this is going to be one of these. It's like a death blow if you run out from here.
Well, he's getting out from here. I don't see.
Well, I'm just saying the first shot.
Yeah, the first shot's tough, but it's pretty natural to slide by the 3 and get the 3 in the side. So
just gonna drift it between the 3 and the 7 to the cushion, bounce back out, and play the 3 in the side, right where the 2's located now.
very similar to the 9 ball he had to shoot in the last rack.
Exactly right.
Just a skosh of left English. The pros, they're not hitting that dead center ball on a shot like this very often. Not saying they're going crazy with the English, but they put just a hair of outside. That way the contact between cue ball and object ball are real clean. Sometimes that straight low can create a hair of grab.
Well, he smoothed that one right home.
He's in a great spot now. He's going to look to go at 4 games and breaking. The way Jayson was playing, you know, kind of felt like it had to be a filler or maybe a Gorst that takes him down. Maybe that's what we're seeing right here. I mean, of course, Shane could have last night, right? But Shane was, it seemed like on the border of like maybe an error or two, you know, that we don't expect from Shane maybe. And then Jayson was taking full advantage. You know, Shane didn't get much of the rolls on his side of the match last night, so. But Jayson just really played flawless. No, I wouldn't say flawless, but real well.
Gorst stays right in his pace. Nothing's distracting him from his job.
No, and, you know, go ahead, Mark.
Unlike Bob Holtz, he's distracted at work. He just texted in, hey, you guys are taking me from my job. This is a great match, though.
Well, you know, I always get the sense with the great players, and that's always what I've tried to do, is get to where I'm playing the game by myself when I'm out there. And I think with Fedor, I feel that as much as any of the players, maybe even more. You know, I get that look with Jayson sometimes. He's just out there doing his thing. Filler, all the greats really have that in them, you know, that kind of deal, you know. But it seems like to me even more so with this young man.
This will be a pretty shot here. It'll come short of the corner pocket, 3 cushions, maybe 4 cushions, I should say. I don't know if we can grab the overhead real quick.
This one tells me he might not hit that 4th cushion, maybe.
Yeah, we didn't. Okay. Well,
and the reason why is it's unless he really checks the cue ball, this to me is a little feeling of a 3-rail scratch. So
no, straight high ball comes in naturally short because it's such a thin hit.
Yeah, but the new felt, man.
I could be wrong, but I feel confident if you just go straight high here. Straight high.
Yeah, it's still spread pretty far, though.
4th
new
rail.
felt, yeah.
5th rail.
Yeah.
Straight in.
Nice shot.
Fedor
Okay. 9-5.
opens up his biggest lead yet. 4 games, 9-5.
Let me see.
He'll have
What is
break
Gorst TP?
as we head into rack 15.
943. So he's played, this is his 3rd match in the 940s on a 10-foot table against the elite class talent. Never seen it before.
Well, I think it alludes to what I just commented on a moment ago as far as getting in that thing where you're playing the game just kind of out there on your own.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest way to keep attaining these incredible scores with the TPA.
Now, looking at Shaw in the chair, he's poised to strike. I mean, he's still in this match, and you see no quit, no disappointment. And when he was younger, sometimes he would get frustrated. And he understands he's up against a top talent here. He understands he could lose this match, but he's not going to give up another inning without giving it 100%. Gorst, care, lining up the break.
All right, watch the 5 in the side. That's the one that breaking from the right. That's the one that's the most common to go in. The 4 can go as well.
5's tracking.
The 4 went in as well.
Cue ball got away a little bit. He's going to get a shot. He is.
Yeah. The reason why the 1's not near the pocket is because he broke from the right and he crossed it over. So the 1 had a little different path. If he hits it a little more flush, the 1's a little more towards that corner. And consequently, the cue ball got here to the bottom side of the table or his left side of the table. All right, he's not taking much time here. So does that say he's running the cue ball 2 rails behind the 310?
He's looking at what he's doing here. Looks like he was thinking about trying to bank the 1 back between the 6-7 and put the cue ball over by the 8, but that's a lot of travel for both balls. So
well, the thing is, you better hit the target on the 1. The 1 needs to go all the way down past the 10 if that's what you're doing. I like running the cue ball myself, but that's just me. Yeah, if he catches the 6. Now, he played the 8 nicely.
Got it.
Yeah, he got it. Beauty.
Good job. Good job. Boy, that was a lot of travel on both balls, but he was able to execute it.
Well, and the thing is, he kept pretty, mild with it. That way the cue ball crawled up behind the 8 a little bit better. Oh, he's looking to change the momentum a little bit.
Eagle eye. Solid impact there. Played for the most to get the most out of that stroke, and he was rewarded. Yeah, Eagle eye's not out of this match.
No. All right, just 1 rail over. He might catch the 2nd rail. Just depends. But if you catch the 2nd rail, your line better be good because you'll be getting straightish. Elevates here. No reason to go top English here, I don't think. He's looking like top with inside. Watch out, 7 ball. Yeah, I wonder why he didn't cue downward on that mark and just lightly stun above the draw stun with the above the 6 there.
Jayson is such a feel, flow player. He likes that rhythm, and sometimes he does shoot balls like that where he just going to rely on shot making, not even going to exert himself, worrying about trying to negotiate, not bumping something in the way.
Yeah, well, it's a nice one to have in your bag, I'll tell you that.
Isn't it? Yeah, I have to try to play for every little tiny fraction of improvement here because I miss so many balls, and he is not worried at all about missing a ball.
All right, a little straightish.
He said something to somebody in the crowd. He is a fearless competitor, I will say that.
Is he going to have to draw this past the 10 and then back up?
I think he's just going to stun draw.
Okay, he could. The
accept
line was
shot.
okay.
Well, he certainly didn't want this shot. He would like to be a little bit better, but
Yeah, kind of eats those for breakfast, doesn't he?
good job there. Good out. Yeah, he had to make something happen from nothing.
9-6. At down to 3 games, and Jayson Shaw will be breaking, trailing by 3.
Eagle eye.
There you go on the rack track, the NBA rack track. Not too many big runs for the guys. Shows you how competitive they're staying.
A hard-fought match. Eagle eye at 8:57. Gorst 9:44 TPA. 9-6 is the score. Chuck Laird's tuned in, another guy not being real productive at work today. But we're glad to have you, Chuck. Mike Bresney in the crowd waving up here at you, Jeremy.
Where's he at?
Oh, he's out there in the hat, black hat, straight across from us. Okay, Eagle eye. 2 and the 5, right behind the 1.
Oh, yeah.
5 made it.
Yeah, and again, the same exact result. Breaking a little from the right, he crossed it over. That's why the 1 came down a little more towards that diamond. Now he can cut this in.
But 2 ball froze to the side rail, right by the side pocket. The hardest ball to play position on.
Well, he's not going to shoot. That's his break cue, so he's measuring up. I think he's definitely going to go offensive, though. I mean, I don't see Jayson not trying to create positions somehow here.
Oof, boy.
He
Tried
could
to do anything. It's a tough shot, and then you're trying to do something.
I
with
like
the cue
going
ball.
with draw 3 rails and trying to bump the 2, like low right, come back underneath the side to the middle of the end rail, and then come at the 2 ball off the middle of the end rail. Kind of the line he's looking at right there. I know there's a scratch. I like making the 1 with that English. Now, I don't think he can hit at the speed to lay on the rail and shoot the 2 all the way up. I think he's got to try to go into the 2. We'll see. See if he cues downward with a little right here.
I think
Yeah, watch him come
You think
3
he's
rails
cutting this?
underneath. Yeah, 3 rails underneath.
Oh, boy.
Like that.
What a call.
Yeah, and he got to
What
the
a
other
shot.
side.
Oh, what a shot. Tremendous shot. Played position with it all the way. There's no point in playing that shot if you're not going to get position.
If he hits downward on this, it's got to be pure. It's easy to pull this off the rail. All right. Yeah, see that, Mark? You hit downward on that ball, particularly when you get fat on a froze ball. It's actually easier when you have a little more cut on it. Now, if he wanted to roll it in, it would have been a hanger. But, you know, with the 3 hanging, I may have considered rolling, going forward with the cue ball myself. But a lot of players don't recognize how easy it is to pull that ball off the rail.
Boy, you couldn't have said it better. Anybody listening in here, better pay attention to the Moscone Cup captain here because he's explaining how these balls work. Now, of course, you know, this 2 ball is really deep, so it's not that easy to play position from.
Okay, he won't try to get too close to the
okay,
3,
he
though.
get
Yeah.
First, it's comfortable.
And he's gotten a little straightish, so you may see him cheat the pocket one way or another here. You may see him go rail first maybe and take a little longer shot on the 4. I kind of think he stays away from that maybe, but we'll see. Well, now he's kind of sizing up from this side of the table, so that really suggests maybe a rail first shot. And this rail first, you really don't want left English. You want straight high ball.
That gives you a bigger margin of error.
Yeah, and
position-wise,
it doesn't get away from you is the main thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the main thing about it. It kind of lets you swing a little firmer without the cue ball really racing. And not only that, the rail first puts a little left on the ball anyways.
Yep. No, it was a great shot there.
You know, he got like the premium out of it.
Yeah.
Now he's just got to screw the cue ball back a little bit for the 6 on the side. Should take him to the hill, these four or five balls here.
Great rhythm on his backswing exchange into the foreswing. The tempo of his stroke, really special. Looks like he just roll forward here, right?
Yeah, it looks like it to me.
I don't think he's going to try to stun.
You would rather be on the roll forward side of the 7, getting on the 9. That's watch out. Okay, he's good. That's the more natural side to easily get on the 9. I mean, both sides could work, that's for sure.
Just like to get a foot past the center of the table.
Yeah, and Shaw really needed that one. I mean, now you're putting this young champion in a spot to have 3 breaks to win the match and the next break on top of that.
Really good speed control because that wasn't just effective topspin. That was stun topspin.
Yeah.
Bends the cue ball into the side rail, lands perfectly straight on the 10 ball. This will put him on the hill and raises TPA to 2,948.
And Gorst first to reach the hill, 10-6.
3 consecutive matches in the upper 940s. Never seen this
move
before.
Into the championship.
Yeah, well, I think he's the guy set up to do it time and time again.
Can't even imagine it. Yep, on the 10-footer. I've seen it a little bit on the 9-footer or Colo Van Boening. Never seen it on a 10-footer by anyone.
Yeah, you see this performance average, and
look at the ball's pocket differential now.
Yeah, and the errors, right? 13 for Jayson. That's, Jayson is a guy that does. He's one of them golfer kind of guys that's going to make a slew of birdies, can handle a bogey or a double bogey every now and again. But 13 might be a little high on the errors for him, right?
Yep.
Okay, he wants to end it here, of course. Like you said yesterday, nothing more satisfying than a nice break and run to end the match. Probably might get him up over 950 as well.
Pure class to end the match with a break and run out.
Yeah, made both the balls on the side, which both these guys have gotten dialed in on that, it seems. He's going to get a thin cut on the 1. He's going to take it on.
He's going to be delighted to have this type of a start, even though it's not easy.
Yeah. Now we'll see how good he's feeling. Can't just go with a straight high, I don't think, because of the 3-ball little.
Right.
Now, does he check it and go right at the 5-2 maybe?
Yeah, at the 5-8.
5-8, excuse me,
That's what I was thinking, too. Because if you try to get cued on the other side, you can scratch in the corner pretty easily, and you can't govern the speed because it's such a thin hit on the 1.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to flick this with a lot of right and be able to control the speed. And not only that, really, really bring a big miss into play. I think if he levels out with just you'll see a little tip of left here, maybe a half a tip of left.
If you lightly miss the 5 on the way in, you can come up over the end rail and lightly open it up too. So.
Yeah, percentages here, right? Percentage. How about hit it perfect?
Gorgeous shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But notice, even though he was going into him, Mark, real controlled, right? I mean, there wasn't like, I'm going into him, let me just hit it a little harder here.
Right.
Now, can he shave the 2, go 2 rails underneath the 6?
That's probably going to be the shot. You get distance here. And he might have to introduce a little bit of
right
check
spin.
side. Yeah, a little right to stiffen it up a little bit because it looks like it's aimed a little bit far down the table to get it over here behind the clutter. 2 or 3 cushions.
Looking at the table, though, tells me he can really judge the thin hit. So I wouldn't be surprised if he lays this down like perfectly. At least he's got the 3 and the 6. He actually used a hair outside.
Good job there.
And that's because he had a little separation,
Look
right?
at that shot.
and he could really judge the thin hit on the 2.
Well, this is machine-like performance here by Gorst.
Well, and I thought that's why it was such a tough decision last year for Alex Laley when it came to that final spot on the Moscone. I mean, you're looking at Kachi, who had won a couple of really nice events, but this guy right here, to me,
yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's other guys to be looked at, but to me, someone else would have to really stand out to disregard this guy on the team or pass him by, let's say.
Well, doggone, if they don't want him, we'll take him.
Okay, nice hit there by Shaw. I don't know if he can easily float by this and get him to the back of the 5. I think that's where he's going.
After the 10. I think he might try to pin it to the 10 here because it's laying so out. Oh, he tried to do too much. He was trying to make the 2-ball bank all the way back down, which that worked out, but then it didn't allow him to get by the 8.
Still got funny for Shaw. I mean,
oh no, this is terribly treacherous.
Yeah, he can't easily play safe here at all. That does have a little bit of a pocket, but then he's shooting a 3-6 combo from some distance. So a lot going on here, and nothing easy. Wow, what a sweet hit that was. And he threw it in.
Oh,
he not only didn't have the entire pocket, he threw the ball in with English.
Now look at this combination.
Yeah, this looks like a hanger compared to the last shot to me.
It's so pretty to watch this type of firepower. I've never seen it.
He's going to be a little upset about that because speed control on the 5 is essential. Yeah, but he's stretched, though.
Yeah, and the combination, you can't try to be cute with that. That's you got to, and that pace allows you to be just a hint more accurate or more comfortable playing that shot. So can't fault him on his position play.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying it was a mistake. I was just saying he's not going to be so happy that the 3 fell to the end rail. He's got to really play a delicate one here.
Once again, the left-hander goes righty with the bridge. You don't see that often, but Jeremy's pointed out it's more often than I ever dreamed that I never witnessed before. But no,
that's going to be perfect.
No,
perfect.
Nope.
No. Yeah,
well, maybe he did get in.
Yeah, I think he's perfect. Now he can come up and bump the 8 if he wanted. He can go to the other side of the 7. He could creep it with inside. Now, if you creep it with inside, make sure you get through the ball. Don't let it grab on you. Okay, nice shot.
Wow. This out. Unbelievable.
And he's got to pay attention right here. He's got to creep this ball up nice. See him elevating here? He's not leveling out because this is nothing easy still.
Stunning backwards. Man.
I still want to see a replay of him kicking while he's looking the other way.
Eagle eye. What a tremendous run out. This should be worth 2 games.
You're right about that. The first, second, and third shot. The 2, the 3-6, and then the 3 itself.
Absolute monster. 10-7.
For a chance to cut the lead down to 2.
Fedor's TPA was at 948, and I'm wondering why it dropped so much. Okay, so I didn't realize he gets an error even though he got the snooker and Shaw kicked it in. Isn't that what happened?
So he earned 2 errors and 1 visit to the table. And that drug his TPA down to 931.
Yeah, so when he shot the 1 and had to break out the 2, he didn't get position, so that's an error. And then I just didn't realize, because he played a nice safety, right? Just so happened that Shaw kicked it in. So
once you're running out with an open layout, if you do not get out, you're for sure getting a position there, and then the safety if Shaw makes something. Unless it's a pre-planned safety, I'm informed. And back when Pat used to pay me $5 a match to do it, I knew all these nuances.
This is going to get us to 10-8. It should, anyways. Don't. No, he needs more.
He got by.
He's gonna. Oh my!
Just got by it.
He'll raise the hand on that one. He knows that was some fortune there.
How do you not love Eagle Eye? He's the most fun guy. Watch play, just to see the ability.
Well, I don't see many problems here, Mark.
His problem is complacency. He sometimes gets a little careless just because he's got so much talent. Yeah, right. I'll never forget Jeff Conway telling me about him and bragging, and I just couldn't conceive of it, so I knew it was an exaggeration. But I have to say, if it was an exaggeration, it was to the modest side rather than making it more glorious. All my life, I've never seen anyone with the firepower of Jayson Shaw.
All right, the 7 doesn't pass the 10, so he may have gotten to where he's got to work a little bit here.
Yeah.
Going forward, maybe. Stunning one rail. Oh, drawing it. That's going to be a little hot there. That's going to be past the 7. That's going to be not straight in on the combo either. Trouble here for Shaw.
Yeah.
He put side spin on it. If he just put straight draw, I think he was going to be just fine there.
Well, this is a straight pull break shot that he's practiced 9,000 times last
well,
week.
this one's awfully thin.
And the 10 ball gets mighty hot if you go for it.
Yeah, and there's nothing really as far as a real simple safety that I see.
He's
cutting
it.
No,
Yeah,
he's cutting it.
Definitely considering it.
Doesn't want a bad roll and didn't get it.
What a shot. Made that look easy. Now this is yet another big-time shot here. He pocketed 9,000 balls last week. That makes this play a little easier. Look, and he was able to hold the speed there.
Well, he killed it, yeah, with the spin and the
eagle eye.
Yeah.
This is his 5th break and run out of the match. I mean, is that not amazing?
Pretty amazing.
He smiled at the crowd.
Down to
10-8.
2 now, 10-8. Fedor Gorst will be breaking once again on the hill.
This has completely filled the bill of what I was hoping we were going to witness. And truly, you got Gorst. I mean, Shaw's kind of turned the pressure back up on Gorst here.
Absolutely,
I'm not backing off, so go ahead and do what you got to do. But this is how I'm going to play.
I mean, it was 10-6, of course, but after 18 games, again, hard to exchange games. 10-8 is a great scoreline, and Federer's still got his hands full here. He's got to produce a run out. One thing is these guys have really turned the brake on. They've been making both those balls beyond the 1 in the side pocket. There's the 4. 1's coming back. Is the 8 going to agree? It is. So boy. Federer's going to get a good chance here.
Yeah.
19.8 on the break demon. I think he just draws his ball by the 8 here. I don't think going to the rail, I think that's a little dicey with the 5. I think I'd sacrifice a little distance here. Don't try and get too cute. If he could go to the rail, that would be great. But I think there's a little much angle on the 1 to really want to go to that side rail.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of stun, light, draw.
Yeah, this is one of these borderline decisions here. That's like made
he's hitting a high ball, so it must be able to hit it fuller than we think.
Just get to the center of the table.
Yeah, he must be able to get there, no problem.
How's the speed?
That was easy.
Speed?
That was great.
Oh, the speed's perfect, and dead center of the table. So.
Yeah, and then that's the best play. If you're confident getting there with no problems with the 5 ball, you definitely want to get closer to this 2 ball. Really the shot of the rack. Gets on the 3 nice. The 5's near.
Looks like he's got to go a little bit of hint of inside spin, top spin.
Yeah, it's it's one of those we talk about all the time. It's not great either way. Inside's not great. Outside's not great. It looks like inside's the play, though. Oh, he checked it nice. He's going to stay nice and close to the 3. So,
beautiful shot.
Again, getting on the 5. It looks like he's so close to the 3, he can draw above the 5 for the same corner here as the 3. Just a straight draw.
And with control, so he has a real easy angle to go towards the 6, which he wants a little angle on the 6, so he won't have to go all the way to the side rail. I don't think he will go to the side rail. As a matter of
No, I
fact.
don't think he will
He
here.
can almost just stop the ball or
Yeah.
just check it up 6 inches more towards the 6.
Exactly right. Stun draw towards the 6 a little bit.
Yeah, this is the match-winning shot right here.
It'd be interesting to see how he plays this, if he pinches it a little more, if he decides to hit more of like a just below center with straight English and come straight across for the 7 using the second rail. A little bit of preference here.
He realizes this is the ball.
Yeah, looks to me he's putting a hair of left on it, so maybe he doesn't get the second rail. I think he probably does, though. No, he played it with just that check. And that's the shot he's improved on, in my opinion, that type of shot. Using a hair of spin and a little lighter rather than forcing it back and forth. You know, he's entertaining. He's brought more to his game.
I remember that. It's like a new tool here that we didn't see in years past. Uh-oh, he did not want to.
Kind of punched at it a little, kind of hit at it a little bit.
He kind of mentally let up Jayson Shaw's rubbing his hands together like, maybe I have a chance. Maybe. He's kind of smiling.
Well, when you hit at it, it's very similar to the Moscone. The English doesn't have time to grab when you hit at it a little bit, and it didn't grab the right English to get across the top of the 8.
He did so well on the 6 that he had just a little mental hiccup there, maybe just a little let up, but he didn't quite focus as keenly. Now he's trying to reobtain that focus and make a super thin cut on the 8 ball here.
Well, good for him. He's tall and he's a right-hander, because it sure does play a lot easier for the right-hander. If he's left-hander, I don't think he shoots at this at all. My opinion, anyways.
Maybe that's why Jayson Shaw goes right-handed with the bridge then.
I bet Jayson can shoot a little bit righty. I've seen him on video swing the golf club righty, so very athletic. Okay, the key to this is make sure you get through the ball, get a nice cut. Don't be dribbling it. Ball wants to move anyways. He's hit it sweet.
Gorgeous shot.
Now the speed's going to be absolutely perfect. Off the rail with the cue ball. No worry of a scratch in the corner. He's just got to follow through it.
Wow.
That was hit dead center. And
Good recovery shot.
Shaw will definitely tip his hat after the match here and take anything for granted, but this looks like a pretty done deal here, Mark. A lot of respect for this Fedor Gorst from all the players.
Don't think he didn't earn this. This would be his 4th break and run out of the match.
Yeah.
Shaw has 5 break and runouts.
And approaching 940. So.
What a classy result here.
Flawless pool on a 10-foot table.
937.
Moving
TPA.
into the championship.
All right,
And
well,
please, one
coming
more
up
round of
next, we got
applause
Josh
for the
Filler
Eagle
and
Eye,
Mika
Jayson
Eminem to
Shaw.
advance into
It
the
is so
finals.
fun to watch
This has been a real
amazing
pleasure, and
shots
thank you
there.
for joining us today.
Great
We will be
match
back
out there,
shortly
and
with
we got
more
one
world-class
more
10 ball.
coming at right
That's
up.
our time for this time.
It is
So
gonna be
long
the
for
killer
just a
Joshua
while.
Filler and the Iceman, Mika